So the story is about two lovers who are in love with each other, but they are different in races. That is why their relationship is forbidden because it was during apartheid era. We know what used to happen in terms of relationships during those days. It was a disgrace for someone with a fair skin. It could be a colored person or a white person to be in love with a native, a black person. In this case, it is Dora Randolph, a young woman that is fair in skin. She is a colored girl. She is in love with a black guy, deeply in love with a black guy by the name of Michael Chabakeng. In the story, he is also referred as Mike. Mike, if they say Mike, you must know that they are still talking about Michael Chabakeng. Dora Randolph reside at North Keswick. In Afrikaans with North Keswick, where white people live. A section for white. It was during apartheid era, so it is rare that you could see someone black in skin in that place at North Keswick. Then there is Michael Chabakeng was from Sophia Town. He was living together with his sister. Salom Chabakeng, older sister Salom Chabakeng in Sophia Town in a two-room house. So Michael Chabakeng here is in love with Dora Randolph. Their secret is their relationship is secret. It is unknown until they were seen by someone while they were dating. So, in the first extract of the story, we see Michael visiting Dora near Nochasik. They are in love with each other. Now, when they are there, they share the things that bothers them. Their love is secret, so that is why when they meet there at Nochasik during the evening, it was during the night, no one was supposed to see them. Michael insists that they hide so that no one can see them because some colors may strike upon them and someone could see them. They were up there at Nochasik. So they feel each other, they love each other, they touch each other, they feel each other's sources, they're deeply in love, they hide under the tall grass, they have to date. Then they share things that bothers them. They share their fears because they feel that if their secret can be out, they will have to face the consequences because the Randolphs did not want any of them to be in love with a native. So if Dora can be, if someone can know that Dora is in love with Michael Chabakeng from the Randolph side, Dora could do Dora. So when they were there, they started sharing things that bothers them. Dora is worried about her father, Mr. Randolph, who casually invites Mr. Van Vuren. Mr. Van Vuren is a philosopher in favor of apartheid. He preaches the gospel of apartheid. So Mr. Randolph casually invites Mr. Van Vuren to come over his house to tell or to preach to his children about the benefits of apartheid, to talk about how important apartheid is, but strategically he preaches that the Randolph should not associate themselves with the whites because they may end up being viewed Randolph must not associate themselves with blacks because they may end up viewed as blacks as well, since they are colored. So they have to decide whether they associate themselves with whites or blacks. So Randolph teaches Van Vuren teaches the Randolphs not to associate themselves with blacks. So Dora is worried because she is already in love with Michael Chabakeng. She is also worried about her little sister Louisa. These are the characters that we are introducing in the story. Her little sister Louisa, who is black in complexion, but she seems to hate blacks. It is ironical in the story. It is ironic in the story that Louisa is black in complexion. She's a Randolph. She's a colored girl. She's black in complexion, but she hates black people more than anything. Dora is also worried about her mother, who doesn't seem to talk much. She doesn't understand her mother's silence because she is struggling to find out if her mother was in favor of apartheid or against apartheid. She feels that if maybe her mother favors apartheid or maybe she's against apartheid. So she's worried about those things. Then Michael Chabakeng feels that the reasons why they are forbidding their relationship or the relationship of whites and blacks, the connection in fact, is because of fears that they have, especially with Mr. Van Vuren and Mr. Randolph, that they fear that now if they associate themselves with blacks, they may end up being viewed as blacks. So they've not been competing for things with blacks. So it means that if they are now equals with blacks, they will have to compete for things with blacks. So that is their main fear, that they will have to compete for things with blacks. That is why they support apartheid. But then, so since it was getting late, then Michael Chabakeng gives Dora a ticket to meet at Ready Mix Cinema the next day because they were about to watch a movie. So it was their habit to go to Ready Mix Cinema to watch a movie. So when they were about to depart, what Michael Chabakeng feared that some colourites may strike upon them happened because a light struck upon them. A shadow like something appeared, so somebody saw them when they were there. And then the man was heard that this guy surely must have a dangerous weapon. The man was referring to Michael Chabageng because he was black and he had courage to go to North Kasik. So when they say that this guy must surely have a dangerous weapon, they feared that they felt that Michael had a dangerous weapon because he had got to be there at North Kasik while it was late, and they saw that he was with a white girl, which was strange because at the time it was forbidden or it was not something that they used to see a black guy falling in love with a white woman. So they felt that he had something to protect himself because nobody could have guts to go to North Kasik and date a white woman. But then we can assume that somebody saw them. So they decided to part ways at that time with hope that they will meet the next day at the Radimax Cinema to watch a movie. But then the next setting is at school when a group of colored gang, Tease gang, with Friedman and Dick Peters as the main perpetrators of teasing. They were planning, those two boys, Dick Peters and Friedman, they were planning on teasing Dora's little brother by the name of Bobby Randolph at North Kasik Primary School. So Bobby Randolph was a well-built boy, a young boy, physical. So the tease gang had something to tease Bobby Randolph with. So they had that Dora Randolph was in love with a native. So they wanted to bully Bobby with that. And when they do bully Bobby at school, Bobby didn't like it. He thrown a series of blows to Dick Peters because Dick Peters teased Bobby by saying that his sister is in love with the native. And there is a teacher by the name of Mr. Carrels who separated the boys because Bobby Randolph beat Dick Peters so bad that the teacher had to intervene. And we learned that Mr. Carrels once approached Dora Randolph for a hand in marriage. When Mr. Carrels asked the boys why they were fighting, then Dick Peters revealed that I was telling him that his sister is in love with a native, and he said it was not true. Then Mr. Randolph remembered, so Mr. Carrels remembered that he once proposed a hand in marriage to Dora Randolph, and Dora rejected him because of his notorious drinking habit. At the time, he was always drunk, so Dora decided to reject Manuel Carrese. So Manuel Carrese is a bitter person. He got bitter. You can tell that during the rejection, he got bitter that he hated Dora so much. So he had a very evil thought with him to let Dora's family know about Dora's secret so that maybe they could punish Dora so that she can maybe, or he can maybe make a relationship between Dora and her family so. So we also have another character in the story by Mr. Phillips. So after Minecraft find out that Dora was in love with a native Michael Chabakeng, then Minecraft decided to take the matter to Mr. Phillips to say to Mr. Phillips, it is better that we let Dora Randolph's family know that Dora is putting them in shame and also the rest of the community. So Mr. Phillips as an elder, because he was a principal, Mr. Phillips is the principal of North Rosic Primary School where Bobby Randolph is schooling. Mr. Phillips advised Mr. Karase not to let everybody know about this matter to protect Dora and to protect the reputation of the Randolphs. But Minekare, because he was bitter, he decided to let the whole community know about the matter. So the matter was out. Dora's secret was out. Everybody knew that Dora now is in love with a native except Dora herself. Dora didn't know anything. So it was life as usual with Dora. And Mr. Randolph found out about the matter when he was in the bus, and then he heard some people talking about it, and he got very angry. Mr. Randolph was very angry at Dora. Then now we also have David Randolph. David Randolph is another character in the story from the Randolph family. He is Dora's bigger brother, older brother. So David find out about the matter and he got angry. So David is somebody who is a hypocrite, because we learn that he was once in love with Salome Chabakeng and he got Salome pregnant. Salome has a child. If we talk about Salome, we're talking about Michael's older sister. So Michael kept on asking the identity of the child, asking Salome who was the father of the child. In fact, the father of the child is David Randolph. So Salome kept it as a secret that David Randolph is the father of her child because she was protecting the reputation of David Randolph, since it was shame for a white person to fall in love with a black person, let alone impregnating a black person. So they kept it as a secret. So Salome, because she deeply loved David Randolph, she decided to protect her. She decided to protect him, even though David Randolph never showed up for the baby to support the baby. So it is ironic in the story that David Randolph is aggressive towards Michael Chabakeng, yet he once fell in love with a black person, Salome Chabakeng. So David Randolph decided to arrange a group of colored gang and then to beat Michael, because Michael was in love with his sister. So they went to Readymix Cinema. They found Michael there at Readymix Cinema. And Michael was standing there. He had just heard that he was not allowed to watch a movie because he was a black guy. So a theme of discrimination, a theme of racism is evident here because he was not allowed together with children under the age of 12 years old. So he was standing there waiting for Dora to make Dora know that he was not allowed to watch a movie. So he had a group of black boys complaining, making a lot of noise. When he was so surprised and shocked at that, then Davy appeared and rain blows on him until and rain blows at him. Then Dora appeared to protect Michael Chabaking. So Dora is there to protect Michael Chabaking, his boyfriend, because he deeply loves him. So the theme of love is evident here. But then Dora couldn't protect Michael because the group of colored boys jumped on Michael and rained a lot of blows. But the one who started raining the blows on Michael Chabaking is because is Davy Randolph. So Michael is so considerate that he did not want to. Michael is so considerate that he did not want to fight back at Davy Randolph because he was concerned about hurting Dora's feelings since Davy was Dora's older brother. He was Dora's sibling, so he did not fight back. But then after that, the group of colored boys together with Davy beat Michael Randolph out cold, and he was lying there out cold. He collapsed. Then Dora decided to nurse Michael until Michael was able to walk. So Dora decided to take Michael to Sophia Town, back to his sister Salom Chabaking. Then Dora had to explain to Salom that the person who beat Michael Chabaking was her brother, Davy Randolph. And Salom was so surprised because when the name Davy Randolph was mentioned, she remembered that Davy Randolph is the father of her child whom she is protecting so much for not supporting the child and for impregnating him from impregnating her from impregnating her as a black person. Then she decided, because she was angry, that she was going to reveal everything to Mr. Randolph or to Davy's family. Everything was supposed to be out now because Davy Randolph had got to beat his brother. Had got to beat her brother. So Salom said to Dora they must nurse Michael until Michael is able to walk. They were supposed to stay there for 2 weeks at Sophia Town together. It was Salom, Dora, and Michael until Michael recovers. After Michael recovered, then they were about to go to North Hasik to see the Randolph family, where Salom wanted to clarify some things and to reveal some things. Then when Michael recovered, Michael insisted, because we said Michael is considerate. So Michael insisted that Salom do not go there. But Salom insisted also that She wanted to go there. She wanted to see Mr. Randolph, who she called Old Davy after Davy. So Old Davy is Mr. Randolph. So Salome took Dora together with Michael to go to see the Randolph's family. So she was able to find them together in their home, and Davy was there also. Then when Salome appeared, we are told that David turned pale. He turned pale. By turning pale, when they say David turned pale, it is an example of a metaphor. It means that David was so shocked to see Salome because she did not expect Salome to come and see his family. So Salome came unexpectedly, to the shock of David Randolph, because he remembered his secret with Salome. Then Salome said to Mr. Randolph, Mr. Randolph, I've come here to bring my brother to beat. She said to David Randolph, I've come here to bring my brother to beat you for falling in love with his sister, because you also beat him for falling in love with your sister. So Salome strategically revealed to Mr. Randolph that he once fell in love with David Randolph, and Mr. Randolph didn't like that, and he decided to deny that on behalf of David Randolph, because Mr. Randolph, together with Mr. Farfuren, are racists. They are staunch racists. Then Salome said, okay, Mr. Randolph, you can deny that, but I have evidence with me. The evidence are in the form of letters and pictures. If you say that your son was never in a relationship with me, where do you think I got these pictures? Where Salome was standing cozy next to David Randolph, looking in love with each other. But Mr. Randolph continued to deny that, even though there was evidence. Then Salome said, if you continue to deny that, it means that I will have to bring a flaming letter from David Randolph that I left at home. By the flaming letter, it means that a letter that expresses strong emotion or feeling of love. So a flaming letter is an example of a metaphor, a letter that expresses strong emotion of love. So Salome said that I also have a letter at home that I didn't want to reveal because it has a lot of secrets that I do not want to expose. Then but Mr. Randolph continued to deny that, and also David Randolph continued to deny that. Then Salome revealed to the family of Randolph that he has a child with David Randolph, and David Randolph's mother, Mrs. Randolph, was heard saying, you say I have a grandchild. We all know Dora's feelings about her mother, that she does not understand her mother's silence because her mother was always silent and saying nothing in the story. She did not understand whether her mother also favors apartheid or not. But with her mother saying, you say, I have a child, not concerned whether the child was black or white, but she was so excited that she had a great child. And at the time, emotions for Salome were very high because she wanted to uh, sue the Verando for not supporting the child for 3 years. So her emotions were very high that she wanted them to meet in court. But we are told that something in Mrs. Randolph's voice calmed Salome down. And Salome was no longer angry after Mrs. Randolph said that you say I have a child, a grandchild. Because Mrs. Randolph was so excited. She was so excited at having a grandchild, not concerned. So now Dora can see that her mother does not favor apartheid. In fact, she does not like apartheid. So that should have calmed Dora down to say, now we can be free. Because it means that the relationship that Dora had with Michael Chabakeng was not something that was never done before. It was done, it was not a new thing. So it made their relationship normal. Because if Devi was able to do it with Salam, it meant that they can also do it. Devi and Salam did it secretly. We can also say that Devi is a hypocrite because he is able to beat Michael Chabakeng for falling in love with his sister, yet he once fall in love with Michael Chabakeng's sister, and that is also ironic that Devi was in love with Salome Chabakeng, a black woman, yet he is beating Michael Chabakeng for falling in love with a white woman, with his sister. He beats Michael Chabakeng for falling in love with his sister, yet he was also in love with Michael Chabakeng's sister. That is an example of an irony. So, David Randolph and Dora Randolph went out and looked at each other after all the drama, as if they were saying, what we are doing is not wrong. It was something that was once done. So now they were free for the first time, that even though their secret was out. So one of the reasons why David beat Michael Chabakeng was because he said he wanted to restore the reputation of his family because Dora was putting them in shame. The question that I want to ask, do you think that Dora can be justified for sticking with Michael Chabakeng? Someone will say yes, because she was following her heart, and Michael was a good guy. He was deeply in love with Michael. That could be another answer that we can give, that she was deeply in love with Michael. So the ending of the story brings hope between Dora and Michael, that their relationship is not such a bad thing. Yes, it may view as something bad because of the tensions the white people had against black people because it was during apartheid era. But it comes to bring hope when Selam revealed that she once had an affair with or a relationship with David Randolph, a secret relationship, in fact. It brings hope to them to say that what they were doing was not just a bad thing, it was normal, it a done thing, so they could continue falling in love with each other. Now they have to do it without fear because they were living in fear. So the theme of fear is also central in the story. Michael is having a secret relationship with Dora Randolph because they fear that somebody can see them and their secret can be out. And Dora Randolph is living in fear also that Salom can expose him for having a child with him. Theme of fear also is evident because Randolph lives in fear that they can be associated with blacks since they are coloreds. So they didn't want to associate themselves with blacks because they can be viewed as blacks. So the theme of fear is also central in the story, and also the theme of racism and discrimination is also central in the story when the Raro family does not want to be associated with blacks because they can be viewed as blacks. The discrimination when Mr. Van Furen casually visits the Randolphs, or when Mr. Randolph invites Mr. Van Furen to come and preach the gospel of apartheid to his children, when also Dave Randolph decides to beat Michael Chabageng for falling in love with his sister Dora Randolph because Debbie was black. It's a theme of racism when also Michael Chabageng was denied entry at the Reading Cinema because he was a black guy. It's also a theme of racism and discrimination. So the story begins at North Kasik. When they say describe the setting of the society, you can say at North Kasik during the evening because you have to reveal place, North Kasik, and time during the evening. Then the story goes to North Kasik primary when Bobby Randolph was fighting Dick Peters and Friedman for revealing that Dora was in love with a native. Then they were at North Kasik primary school where Michael, when Manuel Carrasset decided to separate the boys, and then they went to the Red Mix Cinema when Davy beats Michael Chabageng with a group of colored boys out cold when they found him there to restore the reputation of the family because Dora was putting the family of the Randolphs in shame. Then they went to Sophia Town in a two-room house where Salom lives. It's another theme, sorry, it's another setting of the story when Michael was nasty. At the time when Michael was nasty after having a lot of bruises from the beating that he received from David Randolph. Then the story ends at the Randolph's family house when Salom decided to reveal all the secrets about David Randolph, about Davy having an affair or a secret relationship with Salom, having a child together, Also, that Devi was not supporting her child when Mr. Ranoff decided to deny everything, saying to Salome, "You are a liar," aggressively, because he did not believe that David Randolph can do such a thing, because David Randolph had a reputation in the society as someone who was strongly fighting in favor of apartheid, fighting against blacks, wanting blacks not to be equal with the whites, because now, as Michael said, they will have to fight for things with blacks which they were not ready for. Because being equal with blacks means fighting for things with blacks. Yeah.